Alright, so I'm gonna tell you guys my story with Father Lucifer. Side note, I did get his permission to record his altar and tell this story. I have been wanting to do it for a long time, but I think this would be a good time to start recording it. So basically, like many other people, my relationship with Father Lucifer stemmed when I was very young. I was raised in a Catholic household, and I never really had much interest in the church at all. Something within me just kind of always differentiated from my siblings or anyone else in my family. I saw the inconsistencies and the hypocrisy within the church, and I always felt this pull to something else, that I was somehow being lied to, that I should question it and seek more knowledge, which are the better foundations of Father Lucifer's energy. And I had a lot of conflict within my family because of this. I used to always try to seek more knowledge within it, seeking more than what was taught for me, because I was not told that paganism was a thing. I was not told any other religion. It was just the Catholic Church. And I believe that Father Lucifer has pulled me out of many situations at which the church could have hurt me. But anyway, I had these criticisms of the church when I was very, very young. I am talking before the age of 8. I had the thoughts of it, and I think it's one of the most earlier memories of it. Now, I grew up very afraid of the dark, and I used to be very scared of it and what lied beneath it, but there was always something that was comforting me and letting me know that I wasn't alone within it. As I grew up, I started to rebel against my parents' theology, and I always questioned, well, why is Lucifer bad? Like, if something was to punish evil, how can it be bad if it punishes evil, if it's something that we already hate? And I was always told not to question it. And this also had a lot to do with Mother Lilith as well, when I was hearing about the Adam and Eve story. And it always pulled me this thing where it was like there was someone before Eve. Like, it was very odd. Like, I subconsciously knew that there was more to the story than what the church was telling me. And I always craved this better insight. So I, around the age of 11, threw myself into occultism, learning about witchcraft, and from the Luciferian aspect, not so much from the pagan aspect, though I had that calling to paganism. I would research all day about occultism and try to understand and try to feed this urge that was coming about me. So, unfortunately, like many people who have grown up in these kind of structuredized religions, religious trauma does play a part in it, and I had been told some very scary things about what I was seeking and what I should believe in, because if you do not believe this, you will suffer eternal damnation, that kind of thing. And it flip-flopped me throughout my teen years into very, very toxic mindsets about being a woman. If I believed in this and this, I would go to hell. My sexuality, anything that would make me make the Sky Daddy upset at me. But the calling to him always, like, no matter how I try to avoid it, he would just always let me know that he was there, and he was letting me know that he was watching after me. And throughout those times, I had a lot of self-hatred and a lot of moments where I almost, unalived myself. And it was always this thought in the back of my head saying, I can't stand to see you die young again, please don't do it. And over the years, I figured out that I am clairaudient. I always had those moments of these downloads within me at which I could hear some of my deities talk to me and guide me, which I still think is really cool, and it did help me out a lot. But I know definitely now that it was him. And once I went on my path, it wasn't about a year in where I realized that he was calling to me my entire life. So I made his altar and I talked to him. And within meditation, I saw him, and it was very, very beautiful because he showed up to me as his angel form. And if you have done your research, he is still considered an angel. He has many different forms. Where his wings were black and white, and he embraced me, and he told me that he is neither light and dark. He is the duality of both. And it was so comforting. It was just amazing experience. I noticed that when I pray to him in mornings, the sun shines a bit more brighter. That this drive for justice and equality of what I believe and how he has inspired me to rebel and walk the other path, and how it has inspired me to be who I am today. Though the first year of me working with him, I still had a lot of religious trauma that I had to get rid of, and it has been shedding because it's been that burned into my psyche. But whenever I light his candle, I feel so comforted and so warm. It is a fatherly energy where if I was to get upset and I was to light his candle, he would talk to me and give me pure, genuine advice a father would. He encourages me to look at all sides of a story before judging someone who is not on the same path as me. He has encouraged me to love my family no matter what, that they are still my earth family, and especially when it comes to my father, even though me and my father do not get along or see eye to eye too much, but Father Lucifer has always been there to tell me, you have to accept that this is how he is being played out in this existence and how this is going to be, but it doesn't mean he loves you either way. You have to understand that some people on this plane of existence will give in to their egos and not want to seek truth. And those moments where he's talking to me and encouraging me to push through and to listen to me has always been so amazing to me. His protection of me even strains out into the dream worlds and to the physical world. He has definitely given me many signs throughout my life, showing me that he was there, whether I see black feathers on the ground, certain crows that will call out to me, especially the crow, to be honest with you. The crow has always been a big animal within my spiritual team, and when I was at my lowest, I know definitely now that a majority of those crows were coming to me from Father Lucifer. But yeah, this has been my experience so far working with him. He's been there my entire life. Even when he's like throwing a message in my face and I still cannot read it, he lets me know that, oh, this was going to happen either way, but he does it in a way at which he will never judge me for it, because he understands that I am still human and that I cannot always get the message across in my head, but he never judges me for it. In fact, he knows that it's part of the experience. And before I get any hate saying that he is lying or deceiving me, let me tell you a couple of things to debunk your thing. He has never once asked me for my soul. He has encouraged me to stay on the path of my Catholic ancestors, at which I should probably do some insight on folk Catholicism. He has never once hurt me. In fact, he's been very, very protective over me. He has been very protective over relationships in my life at which I was being hurt by. And I do believe that he is the being that did create my soul and did plan.